Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Coach Kevin here. And first thing I want to go ahead and do is welcome you to our Zoom meeting today. And I want to go ahead and share my screen with you as we get started here. Um, for those of you who this is your very first time with us, we want to point out that we have a Facebook group that coincides with this meetup that we'd like to invite you to join. It's called I Want to Be Really Rich, and I do not apologize for it. It's the exact same name as the meetup group, just minus the initials for the city. And that's because we have different meetup groups throughout the country that all plug into this one area right here. And then we come together for these 45 minutes or so every Monday through Friday. So I wanted to invite you to come join us. What you can do is you can go to the search bar, start typing in, I want to be really rich, and I do not apologize for it. It will pop up. You can join us. Or if you could remember this, you can go to facebook.com/groups/ I want to be really rich. So why would you maybe want to join us? Well, a few reasons. Reason number one, if we have any special announcements, we'll usually pin those to the top that are important for the group. The other thing that we do is when I remember to do so, and I've only, actually I remembered the other day, we just had a computer glitch, but basically what we do is we take the recordings of each day and we put them here so that if you miss something, you could go there and get caught up, or if you like something you hear, you can go back later that day or the following morning, depending on when we get it posted, and go back into the Zoom meeting and review whatever it was you want to hear over again or see over again. So again, I want to be really rich. I do not apologize for it. Come join us on Facebook. All right. Next thing I want to share with you is we are going to start studying a new piece of material here. We finished up with um, Hidden Treasures, which explain the laws of how the universe operates, the laws in relationship to manifesting more money and wealth in our lives. We finished that one up yesterday, and we're going to go ahead and dive into something that I've read a while ago. I have to admit I haven't read it in a few years, but I was meditating today and feeling like, okay, what should be the next thing that will be the most helpful to the group based upon where we've been going so far. And I think it's really important that you understand how your mind works. Um, if you understand how your mind works, your mind will be your friend. If you don't understand how your mind works, your mind will actually become your enemy. And if your subconscious mind is programmed in opposition to what you want to receive in your life, it doesn't matter how hard you try, your subconscious mind is going to sabotage the work that you're doing. So let's learn to understand how the subconscious mind works and how we can make the subconscious mind our very best friend in helping us get what we want instead of our worst enemy in defeating us and getting what we want in life. So what I did, I have it on Kindle already, but I would look to see if I could find a copy somewhere for free that we could all go through together, and I did. What I did is I just typed in the Power of the Subconscious Mind PDF into Google. And then if you scroll down, it may not, I don't remember if it was the first thing that came up organically. You got a couple ads there, then you've got a couple here, but I went to the one where I found the best copy I could find, and don't know why it's at this website, doesn't really even matter. But it's at this www.logoscenter.org. Just click that one. When you click that one up, here's what it's going to open up into. It's going to give you this. It's not even going to ask you for your name or your email address or anything like that. But you could do that, and then you could go here if you want to download it instead of just using that page, and then you'll have your own copy. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Let me share for those of you who are new kind of how things roll and what we've been doing. So I've been a coach for quite a while now. I've coached a lot of clients over the years in different areas. I've been a business coach. I've been a law of attraction coach. I've helped people become real estate investors. I've helped people become entrepreneurs. My focus, though, for pretty much this is it for the rest of my life. I've made up my mind that I'm going to focus on the law of attraction side of things with the spin on understanding how to attract more money and wealth into our lives and how business and entrepreneurship work. So if it comes to money and wealth, that's where I have the greatest background. I was actually personally trained in these areas by a lot of people, but two that are big impact people on my life. One is a gentleman named Robert Kiyosaki. If you don't know who he is, you can look up Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's the author of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book series. And I've had the opportunity to actually work directly with Robert for a period of, what was it? December through May. I was actually brought onto his team to be a consultant at one time to help them grow their business. And through those interactions, they showed me the inner workings of their business. And that's where I developed that relationship with Robert and the person at his time who is his business partner, Sharon Lechter. Another person that's had a big impact on me, maybe even more powerfully in a sense, because they showed me how the universe really operates and how my mind works, is a gentleman named Bob Proctor. If you haven't heard of Bob Proctor has a book of his own called You're Born Rich, but where you might know him best is if you've watched the movie The Secret or read the book The Secret, because he's heavily highlighted in both of those. Bob Proctor is the foremost authority on the things that I'm talking about as far as utilizing your thoughts and understanding how the universe works to actually manifest what you want in your life. And he's been doing it now. He's 87 years old. He got his start in this field at age 27. So it's been a long time. And he's been a personal mentor, trainer, and coach of mine. So anyhow, that gives you a little bit of background if you're brand new to us and what's going on. And this particular work is a public domain work. Joseph Murphey wrote it a long time ago. I don't remember the year exactly, but early 1900s is when this book came out, I believe. Okay. And very powerful because he's very good at explaining not just the concept, but he actually explains how your subconscious mind, again, can help you get anything you want out of life, but you have to be aware of how it works and functions so you can use it correctly to get what you want. So we're going to start here on page 1 of the PDF file. I will do some reading. I'll add commentary where I feel it's appropriate. And then what we like to do is we like to save 10, maybe 15 minutes, depends towards the end of what we're doing. And that is your opportunity to share comments and ask questions. So you can share whatever you like in relationship to what we're talking about, or ask questions to help clarify things that maybe you want to know more about. So I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of water here, clear my throat a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and roll with this. Discover the power of your subconscious mind to bring health, wealth, and happiness into your life. Win riches and prosperity. Free yourself of the negative attitudes that block your path to wealth. Master the 3 simple steps employed by successful business persons all around the world. Regain formal youthfulness and vigor. Find out why the mental and physical deterioration associated with aging is not natural and how you can retain your youth. Work regal miracles in the lives of others. Learn how to use mental transference to will health and vitality to a far-off loved one or friend in great need. Find new peace of mind. Discover how to use the spiritual law of communion to bring yourself into radiant union with your own personal higher power. One of the most powerful self-help guides ever written. How can this book work miracles in your life? I've seen miracles happen to men and women in all walks of life, all over the world. Miracles will happen to you too when you begin using the magic power of your subconscious mind. This book is designed to teach you that your habitual thinking and imagery mold, fashion, and create your destiny. For as a person thinketh in his subconscious mind, so is he. Do you know the answers? Why is one person sad and another person happy? Why is one person joyous and prosperous and another person poor and miserable? Why is one person fearful and anxious and another person full of faith and confidence? Why does one person have a beautiful, luxurious home while another lives out a meager existence in a slum? Why is one person a great success and another an abject failure? Why is one speaker outstanding and immensely popular and another mediocre and unpopular? Why is one person a genius in her work or profession, while another toils and moils all his life without doing or accomplishing anything worthwhile? Why is one person healed of a so-called incurable disease and another isn't? Why is it so many good, kind religious people suffer the tortures of the damned in their minds and bodies? Why is it many immoral and irreligious people succeed and prosper and enjoy radiant health? Why is one person happily married and another very unhappy and frustrated? Is there an answer to these questions in the workings of your conscious and subconscious minds? There most certainly is. My reason for writing this book. What motivated me to write this book was a deep desire to share with others the answers I've discovered to these and many similar questions. I have tried to explain the great fundamental truths of your mind in the simplest language possible. I believe that it's perfectly possible to explain the basic and fundamental laws of life and of your mind in ordinary everyday language. You will find that the language of this book is that used in your daily papers, in current periodicals, in your business offices, in your home, and in daily workshop. I urge you to study this book and apply the techniques it outlines. As you do, I'm absolutely convinced that you will hold a miracle working power that will lift you up from confusion, misery, melancholy, and failure. It will guide you to your true place, solve your difficulties. Sever you from emotional and physical bondage and place you on the royal road to freedom, happiness, and peace of mind. This miracle working power of your subconscious mind can heal you of your sickness, make you vital and strong again. In learning how to use your inner powers, you will open the prison door of fear and enter into a life described by Paul as the glorious liberty of the sons of God. Releasing the miracle working power. A personal healing will always be the most convincing evidence of our subconscious powers. Many years ago, I managed to cure myself of a malignancy. In medical terminology, it is called a sarcoma. By using the healing power of my subconscious mind, which created me and still maintains and governs all my vital functions. The technique I applied then is explained in detail in this book. I feel sure that it will help others to trust the same infinite healing presence lodged in the subconscious depths of all of us. Thanks to the kindly advice of an elderly doctor friend, I suddenly realized that it is natural to assume that the creative intelligence that made all my organs, fashioned my body, and started my heart can heal its own handiwork. The ancient proverb says, "The doctor dresses the wound and God heals it." Wonders happen when you pray effectively. Scientific prayer is the harmonious interaction of the conscious and subconscious levels of mind, scientifically directed toward a specific purpose. This book will teach you the scientific way to tap the realm of infinite power within you, enabling you to get what you really want in life. You desire a happier, fuller, and richer life. Begin to use this miracle working power and smooth your way in daily affairs, solve business problems, and bring harmony in family relationships. Be sure that you read this book several times. The many chapters will show you how this wonderful power works and how you can draw out the hidden inspiration and wisdom that is within you. Learn the simple techniques of impressing the subconscious mind. Follow the new scientific way in tapping the infinite storehouse. Read this book carefully, earnestly, and lovingly. Prove to yourself the amazing way it can help you. It may be, and I believe it will be, the turning point of your life. Everybody prays. Do you know how to pray effectively? How long is it since you prayed as part of your everyday activities? In an emergency, in time of danger or trouble, in illness, and when death lurks, prayers pour forth. Just follow the daily news. There are reports that people all over the country are praying for a child stricken with so-called incurable ailments, for peace among nations, for a group of miners trapped in a flooded mine, Later, we hear that when rescued, the miners say they prayed while waiting for rescue. Certainly, prayer is an ever-present help in time of trouble. But why should you wait for trouble to make prayer an integral and constructive part of your life? The dramatic answers to prayer make headlines and are the subject of testimonies to the effectiveness of prayer. But what of the many humble prayers of children, the simple thanksgiving of grace at the table daily, the faithful devotions wherein the individual seeks only communion with God? My work with people has led me to study the various approaches to prayer. I've experienced the power of prayer in my own life, and I have talked and worked with many others who have benefited greatly from the help of prayer. The problem usually is how to tell someone else how to pray. People who are in trouble have difficulty in thinking and acting reasonably. Their problems overwhelm them and block their ability to listen and understand. They need an easy formula to follow, an obviously workable pattern that is simple and specific. Unique feature of this book. The unique feature of this book is its down-to-earth practicality. Here you will find simple, usable techniques and formulas that you can easily apply in your everyday life. I've taught these simple processes to men and women all over the world. The special features of this book will appeal to you because they explain why you often get the opposite of what you prayed for. Thousands of times, people in all parts of the world have asked me, why is it I've prayed and got no answer? In this book, you will find the reasons for this common complaint, the explanation of the many ways of impressing the subconscious mind and getting the right answers make this an extraordinarily valuable book and an ever-present help in time of trouble. What do you believe? Contrary to what many people think, it is not the thing that is believed in that brings an answer to a person's prayer. Prayers are answered when the individual's subconscious mind responds to the mental picture or thought in his or her mind. This law of belief is the secret operating principle in all the religions of the world. It is the hidden reason for the psychological truth. The Buddhist, the Christian, the Muslim, and the Jew may all get answers to their prayers, in spite of the enormous differences among their stated beliefs. How can this be? The answer is that it is not because of the particular creed, religion, affiliation, ritual, ceremony, formula, liturgy, incantation, sacrifices, or offerings, but solely because of belief or mental acceptance and receptivity about that for which they pray. The law of life is the law of belief. Let me repeat that. The law of life is the law of belief. Belief can be summed up briefly as a thought in your mind. As a person thinks, feels, and believes, so is the condition of his or her mind, body, and circumstances. A technique, a methodology based on an understanding of what you are doing and why you're doing it will help you bring about a subconscious embodiment of all the good things of life. Essentially, answered prayer is the realization of your heart's desire. Desire is prayer. Everyone desires health, happiness, security, peace of mind, and true expression. But how many of us achieve all these goals? A university professor admitted to me recently, I know that if I change my mental pattern and redirect my emotional life, my heart condition will improve. I know that. The problem is, I do not have any technique, process, or modus operandi. My mind wanders back and forth on my many problems, and I feel frustrated, unhappy, and defeated. The professor had the desire for perfect health. What he needed was a knowledge of the way the mind worked. It was this that would enable him to fulfill his desire. By practicing the healing methods outlined in this book, he became whole and perfect. Okay, guys, I will be back in just 1 second. All right, thank you. Had to do something for a second. There is one mind common to all individuals. The miracle working powers of your subconscious mind existed before you and I were born, before any church or world existed. The great eternal truths and principles of life antedate all religions. It is with these thoughts in mind that I urge you in the following chapters, to lay hold of this wonderful, magical, transforming power. It will bind up mental and physical wounds, proclaim liberty to the fear-ridden mind, and liberate you completely from the limitations of poverty, failure, misery, lack, and frustration. All you have to do to unite mentally and emotionally with the good you wish to, all you have to do is to unite mentally and emotionally with the good you wish to embody. The creative powers of your subconscious will respond accordingly. Begin now, today. Let wonders happen in your life. Keep on keeping on until the day breaks and the shadows flee. The treasure house within you. You have infinite riches within your reach. To gain them, all you have to do is open your mental eyes and behold the treasure house of infinity within you. There is a storehouse within you from which you can extract everything you need to live great, gloriously, joyously, and abundantly. Many people are closed off from their own potential because they do not know about this storehouse or infinite intelligence and boundless love within themselves. Whatever you want, you can draw forth. A magnetized piece of iron will lift about 12 times its own weight, but if you demagnetize the same piece of iron, it will not lift even a feather. In the same way, there are two types of people. Those who are magnetized are full of confidence and faith. They know they are born to succeed and to win. Others, so many others, are demagnetized. They're full of fears and doubts. When an opportunity comes, they say, "What if I fail? I might lose my money. People will laugh at me." People of this sort will not get very far in life. Their fear to go forward makes them simply stay where they are. You can become a magnetized person when you discover and put to use the master secret of the ages. The master secret of the ages. Suppose someone asked you to name the master secret of the ages. What would you answer? Atomic energy? Interplanetary travel? Black holes? No, it's not any of these. Then what is the master secret? Where can you find it? How can it be understood and put into action? The answer is extraordinarily simple. The secret is the marvelous, miraculous, miracle-working power found in your own subconscious mind. This is the last place most people would look for it, which is the reason so few ever find it. The marvelous power of your subconscious. Once you learn to contact and release the hidden power of your subconscious mind, you can bring into your life more power, more wealth, more health, more happiness, and more joy. You do not need to acquire this power. Let me repeat that. You do not need to acquire this power. You already possess it. You already possess it, but you will have to learn how to use it. You must understand it is so that you can apply it in all departments of your life. If you follow the simple techniques and processes explained in this book, you can gain the necessary knowledge and understanding. You can be inspired by a new light, and you can generate a new force that enables you to realize your hopes and make all your dreams come true. Decide now to make your life grander, greater, richer, and nobler than ever before. Within your subconscious depths lie infinite wisdom, infinite power, an infinite supply of all that is necessary. It is waiting there for you to give it development and expression. If you begin now to recognize these potentialities of your deeper mind, they will take form in the world without. Provided you are open-minded and receptive, the infinite intelligence within your subconscious mind can reveal to you everything you need to know at every moment of time and point of space. You can receive these thoughts and ideas, bring forth new inventions, make new discoveries, create new works of art. The infinite intelligence in your subconscious can give you access to wonderful new kinds of knowledge. Let it reveal itself to you, and it will open the way to perfect expression and true place in your life. Through the wisdom of your subconscious mind, you can attract the ideal companion, as well as the right business associate or partner. It can show you how to get all the money you need and give you the financial freedom to be, to do, and to go as your heart desires. It is your right to discover this inner world of thought, feeling, and power of light, love, and beauty. Though invisible, its forces are mighty. Within your subconscious mind, you will find the solution for every problem and the cause for every effect. Once you learn to draw out these hidden powers, you come into actual possession of the power and wisdom necessary to move forward in abundance, security, joy, and dominion. I have seen the power of the subconscious lift people out of crippled states, making them whole, vital, and strong once more. Their minds made them free to go out into the world to experience happiness, health, and joyous expression. There is a miraculous curative force in your subconscious that can heal the troubled mind and the broken heart. It can open the prison door of the mind and liberate you. It can free you from all kinds of material and physical bondage. Okay. Necessity of a working basis. If you want to make progress in any field of endeavor, there is an essential first step. You must discover a working basis that is universal in its application. Before you can become skilled in the operation of your subconscious mind, you must understand its principles. Once that it is achieved, you can practice its powers by knowing the results you will certainly obtain. You can apply these powers for the definite specific purposes and goals you want to accomplish. For many years, I followed the profession of chemist. One of the first things I learned in my early training was that if you combine 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 oxygen, the product will be water. Not occasionally or most of the time, always. If you take 1 atom of oxygen and 1 atom of carbon and combine them, you'll produce carbon monoxide, a poisonous gas. But if you add another atom of oxygen, you will get carbon dioxide, a gas that is harmless to animals and vital to plants. These facts are universal and unchangeable. They are what we call principles. Principles of chemistry, physics, and mathematics are no different in their workings from the principles of your subconscious mind. If you want to make use of chemical or physical forces, you must learn the principles of these fields. If you want to make use of the force of your subconscious mind, you must learn its principles. Take the generally accepted principle, water seeks its own level. This is a universal principle. It applies to water everywhere, at any time, and to all liquids that behave like water. The ancient Egyptians knew this principle. They used it to make the foundations of the Great Pyramids perfectly level. Today, engineers use it when planning everything from an irrigation system to a hydroelectric power station. Or take the principle, matter expands when heated. This is true anywhere, at any time, and under all circumstances. If you heat a piece of steel, it will expand, whether the steel is found in China, England, India, or in an orbiting space station. Matter expands when heated. This is a universal truth. It is also a universal truth that whatever you impress on your subconscious mind is expressed on the screen of space as condition, experience, and event. Your prayer is answered because your subconscious mind is principle. And by principle, I mean the way a thing works. For example, an important principle of electricity is that it works from a higher to a lower potential. You do not change the principle of electricity when you turn on a lamp or cook on an electric stove. No, you use the principle. By cooperating with nature, you can bring forth marvelous inventions and discoveries that bless humanity in countless ways. Your subconscious mind is principle. It works according to the law of belief. You must know what that belief is, why it works, and how it works. Your Bible says in a simple, clear, and beautiful way, "Whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, And be thou cast in the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that these things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. The law of your mind is the law of belief. This means to believe in the way your mind works, to believe in belief itself. The belief of your mind is the thought of your mind, just that and nothing else. All your experiences, events, conditions, and acts are produced by your subconscious mind in reaction to your thoughts. Remember, it is not the thing believed in, but the belief in your own mind that brings about the result. Stop accepting the false beliefs, opinions, superstitions, and fears that plague our humankind. Begin to believe in the eternal verities and truths of life that never change. At that point, you will move onward, upward, and Godward. All those who read this book and faithfully apply the principles of the subconscious mind that are set forth here will gain the ability to pray scientifically and effectively for themselves and for others. Your prayer is answered according to the universal law of action and reaction. The thought is incipient action. The reaction is the response from your subconscious mind that corresponds to the nature of your thought. Fill your mind with the concepts of harmony, health, peace, and goodwill, and wonders will happen in your life. And we will go ahead as far as reading goes and stop there for today. Come out of screen here. All right. So hang on one moment here. All right, so for those of you that have been with us for a while, you know the drill. But if you're brand new, let me explain. At this point, we can go ahead and you can share your thoughts, your feelings, your ahas. You can share your experiences related to utilizing the law of attraction and successfully manifesting things in your life that you've wanted. We can talk about things that you learned from what we've read, and you can ask questions about what it is that we're reading and studying, and or questions related to how to manifest more money and wealth in your life. So what we do is whoever wants to ask a question or share a comment, you just come off mute and start talking. I'll take you in the order that you do that, and we'll do that starting now, and we'll see how long we go for. If you have to go, at the 45-minute mark that we talked about, that's fine. We're not holding anybody hostage. Sometimes, though, I choose to stay on a little bit longer if people are still asking questions and want more help. So I won't stay on all day, but I've been known to stay on for 10, 15, sometimes even 20 minutes extra to help people out. But this is the time to share your comments and ask your questions. Go for it.
I just have a quick question, Kevin. It's Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
Hello, everyone. I've been working towards wealth and abundance so that I can take care of my family. Specifically, the top of the list is my mom.
Okay.
And I just had a conversation with her before this meeting, and maybe was timely. She's very depressed right now because of COVID times, and we talked about the social conscious that we're fighting, right? That social feeling that everyone has right now. And I try not to be frustrated with her because I know what I believe, and I know that I will manifest what is needed to be able to do all of those things that is needed for her. I know that already. I'm on the path of that already. Awesome. How do we not get swayed by the person themselves because she's depressed, because she doesn't believe, because she's taking everything on as a problem? How do we continue not get sucked into that, not have our subconscious mind listen to that? How do we be above that and still come to that belief system? Like, how do we deal with those people that are so close to us that we're actually really trying to help, yet are kind of stuck themselves? So I would just love your comments there. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, a few things came to mind, so I'll share what came to mind for me. Not necessarily in the order they came to mind. I had several. I don't know who on here is Christian or not. And like Joseph Murphy said, the specific religion doesn't matter too much. One thing, if you go into the Bible, though, when Jesus was around, that happened quite a bit. I don't know if you'll catch this maybe when I say it, or maybe you've already come to your own conclusion about this. But Jesus went out and preached and taught, and he was amongst people that he was, trying to share the gospel with, so to speak. And of course, not everybody accepted it. Matter of fact, most of the world didn't accept it. So at the time he was alive. But one of the things that I noticed Jesus did a lot of, and you don't see it because you don't know what he was doing at the time, other than it said he went off to pray or whatever. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Jesus, as much as he worked to help the people, he also took time to get away from the people. um, and I believe that was so that he could go pray and commune with his Father in heaven, and so that he could recharge his batteries, because he had to be around people that were hurting themselves constantly, whether they did it unknowingly or not. They were hurting themselves by their thought process. They were hurting themselves then by their feelings. They were hurting themselves by the actions. They were hurting themselves by the results. And I don't mean in every, like people are sitting there, poking themselves with knives and stuff. I mean, I hope not. But what I mean is, he understood that those people weren't as fully aware of how life works and how the universe works, but he had a much better understanding than they did. And it could be painful, or it could be just all the feelings that we've got. Jesus I believe, has feelings like that too. He also understood that having a negative, being around that, he had to do something to get away. So that's thought number one. Thought number two is, and I'm not saying that this is, the way it is with your mother, but thought number two is, if somebody throws mud on you, how long do you wait before you take a shower? Right? Um, I mean, if there's somebody I don't need to spend time with and they keep throwing mud on me, then I might eventually get the hint that I should quit going over there, because they're going to throw mud on me. I could ask them to stop, but if they don't stop, then that's just their habit of they throw mud, right? But if someone is in our life that we need to be around for whatever reason it might be, well, if mud is going to be thrown on you, you might as well pick the time the mud's going to be thrown on you, if you can control that. Like, go spend time with the person purposely, knowing you're going to take a shower afterwards, and then don't go back 5 minutes later and let them toss mud on you right away, right? Try and stay clean. So if you take those two analogies, you take Jesus, what did he do? He went away. As much as he loved everybody he was teaching, as much as he had the ability to save them, as much as he could teach them principles and how the world works, and how to how to live a much happier life, he still needed to go recharge his own batteries. I believe he did that very, very frequently. Sometimes to the point where he'd go get away for days, not just for minutes or hours. Sometimes he went to do that. So sometimes we've got to do that for ourselves. But the number one thing that we have to do is go, okay, if the world is filling us with bullcrap, essentially, right? Do we want to go somewhere where it's easy for that to happen? Do we want to turn on the TV and watch the commercials? Every television show almost out there is about whatever pill the doctor can get you, right? Go see your doctor about. So I believe a lot of sickness in the world has come about because people become aware of more things to get sick about. So what do? Well, shut the commercial off, or choose a different form of entertainment, right? It's what we have to do is go, okay, what comes into my mind has the potential over time, if it's repeated over and over and over again, to be accepted by the subconscious. Last thing we want to have happen. If it's already been accepted by the subconscious, then the work is going to be to reprogram and get the subconscious to accept a new idea that is actually in alignment with what you want. And you're going to have to do those one at a time, essentially. You can't take down all the beliefs that you have, every program you have, because you would probably shut down your entire computer, right? You need to install new programs one at a time. You also need to understand, and Joseph Murphy's going to talk about this, but he's going to get into a lot more detail, and that's why I wanted to use this book, of how to do things with your subconscious and how to program it. Because essentially we've got three players out there that exist, and ourselves, I'll call us the fourth player, okay, that exist in helping us get what we want in life. Player number one is 100%, it's us, utilizing our conscious mind, meaning we can choose what we think about. Therefore, because we can choose what we think about, we can start the process of receiving what we want. So then there's three other players in this game. Player number two is our subconscious mind, okay? Subconscious mind takes what the conscious mind is saying and either accepts or rejects it. Initially, it's the conscious mind that decides to accept or reject, but the conscious mind wears out if things are repetitive. And that's why the subconscious mind will finally the subconscious mind will accept the crap eventually, not because we believe in the crap, but because the conscious mind over and over and over again didn't do anything about it, and it just let the subconscious get bombarded versus rejecting it, okay? Consciously, we didn't choose a thought in opposition to that to actually say, no, that stuff that the world's telling me is BS. So over and over and over, it's hit us, and eventually it becomes subconscious. Then there's the next player is the energy or formless substance, or in a more scientific term, energy or matter, right? That is something that we've learned more recently, or you guys have. I mean, I've known for a while because of study. Some of you believe this, some of you don't, but the energy will respond to our thought, okay? It responds to our thought. And actually when I say it responds to our thought, what it really responds to is our feeling or our vibration, but it takes a thought to create a vibration in the first place. So it responds to that, and it wants to mirror back to us and bring back to us that which mirrors what it is that we put out. And then the next player is God. I don't believe God and energy are exactly the same thing. I believe God is someone like us who has progressed much further already. And because God knows how all this stuff works, God is the one, when we receive that intuition, that inspiration, that revelation, those thoughts and feelings of what we ought to do, God's the one providing those when we're actually open to receiving them. And when we're allowing ourselves to listen and be more calm, and when we're not fighting against the subconscious. So, but the cool part is when the subconscious does agree with what it is that you want, its purpose is to go get it for you. You actually, and I say, you almost can sit around and do nothing, but don't get that wrong. Don't think you can just sit there in the, lotus position and hum a bunch and all this stuff's going to show up. You might have a couple things show up, but for the most part, that's where God is going to say, hey, I know you were going down this path right, but I want you to turn left right here. Or, hey, go call this friend you haven't talked to in the last 5 years. Or you get a text or a message from somebody you haven't heard of. And they're like, hey, how's it going? I was thinking of you, and their thought process isn't along with what we're talking about. And it helps you get what you want. You and I are in control of our life because we get to choose what goes in. If we don't like what goes in because of what's around us, then we need to change it. And we should change it as to the best that we have the ability to change it. I mean, if you live at home somewhere and there's a person in the household that makes it really difficult for you, that's a little different, right? But you still have the opportunity to go, okay, that means I need to actually work harder. And I say work, I need to put my own programming in more frequently than I allow them to put their programming out there, so that my subconscious mind will reject what they're saying. If one of you, and I don't know if anybody on here, because I can't see everybody, because some of you have names and whatnot, but let's say one of you is a professional bodybuilder, and somebody off the street walks up to you and says, you're a little skinny wimp. Your subconscious mind is not going to freak out about that. It's matter of fact, your subconscious mind's going to go, what are you talking about? Right? No, I'm not. And so there's no impact, right? Now, if you didn't do anything about it and that's all you ever heard back, you might have a negative effect over time. But probably the thing you did to get yourself to be the professional bodybuilder in the first place, you just keep doing those things. And the guy out there that's heckling you can't do anything to you because you're controlling what goes in, right? So the idea is to get the subconscious mind to cooperate with what it is that you really want. And then when it cooperates with what you really want, then it actually goes out there and helps you get it. And it puts things on autopilot so you can go master something else that's new. So hopefully some of what I just shared helped somebody. Any other comments or questions?
I have a question. It's to Kira. Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
I can relate to what Tanya was saying. I actually had a question for you, but you answered it. And it was, do you ever feel annoyed with people, and how to keep your vibrations up around when others are annoying you, and how do you handle it? But you just answered that for me. So my second question is about the book that we just read. How can one be happily married, and how can we attract ideal clients and a live-in companion? So not just like a date, but like someone that we want to share a home with.
I should put Matt on here if he was with us, because he's the one that I personally coached one-on-one, that in 6 months from when we decided he wanted a relationship, he got married. No, seriously, he wanted money first. The first 6 months I coached him one-on-one. The goal was money. He hit the goal and he said, you know what I really want? I want you to keep coaching me, but you know, I like help with relationship. And I'm like, not a relationship coach, dude. And he's like, I know that. He goes, but you know me well enough. You know when I'm living the laws and the principles and when I'm not. And you've been helpful that way. You know, would you help me with this? I'm like, okay, sure. So that became our focus for the next 6 months. But the process really wasn't any different. The process is a visualization and feeling that you're with a person. Don't choose a specific person. Okay.
Okay.
Don't choose someone that you already know right now. Like that's the one. Okay. Just don't do that. If that person is the one, they will be the one when you do what it is you need to do. Okay. But the first thing you want to do is visualize being with a person that embodies what it is that you would like in your life. The even more powerful thing you could do with that is be that person, other than don't change your gender. Okay. You know, stay whoever you are and attract whoever it is, whatever gender it is that you were originally wanting to attract, right? Don't change that. But in other words, you can't really expect to receive somebody into your life that is everything you want, or everything. I mean, that's might even be asking a little too much, because people have some agency there. But what I mean is, if you want a certain type of person in your life, be that person. If you're saying, hey, I want that person because I'm not, now I can talk about myself and my wife. We are so opposite on the personality side. I mean, the whole opposite attracts things. When you take the personality, that's us. So I'm not the person she is. She's not the person I am, in that sense of the word. We've been married for 27 years. So thank goodness, through the ups and downs and everything else, we're still together. But when, you know, and not that I understood law of attraction back at the time that, you know, before we met, but I can remember kind of what was going through my mind. And my mind was focused on how I wanted life to be, not on any specific person. And because I wasn't really actively trying very hard to meet her, it ended up that we met each other. It turned out to be pretty easy. And in 9 months we were married.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It doesn't have to take a long time when it's the right one. You know.
That's what I feel. I feel like relationships are a part of prosperity.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and then I also, as an entrepreneur, I've been interviewing with parents and I haven't liked them at all. I have not. So I wanted to manifest relationships and business as well with clients that I would want to work with and that would want to work with me.
Hmm.
Because I passed up a lot of money, but I did it because my personal sanity is more important.
Yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. So it's I think we kind of intuitively know some of this stuff I'm sharing with you guys and what we're hearing, from different authors and whatnot. But the world has programmed us to always be moving around. It teaches us we got to act, we got to do, we got to act, we got to do, we got to act, we got to do. And yes, there are people out there that do nothing and so they get nothing. Okay, so we're worried about that. Trust me,
Mhm.
if you're somebody who's been a doer for a long time, you'll slow
Mhm.
down a little bit, you'll still be enough of a doer to receive what you want. Okay. But we don't spend we don't spend enough motionless time, so to speak, in our own mind, imagining what we want and living it as if it already exists the way we want it.
Mm. You're
That
right.
we don't do that. When we got a chance to do something like that, we either feel guilty about it because it doesn't feel like work,
Mhm.
because I'm not doing anything, or we get the distraction of the subconscious mind that says, hey, go turn on Netflix right now,
Mhm.
or go on Facebook or whatever it is, instead of intentionally. And you know what? I tell everybody, spend the first 10, 15 minutes of the day, stay in your bed, and the end of the day before you go to sleep, going through that process of visualizing what you want and feeling it and living it as if it's already currently happening. And you're not a spectator, but you're the participant. So you're in it. You're not watching you do it. You are doing it. And the other thing, though, that I noticed is if you can add more time other times throughout the day, it just supercharges what's going on. You may think that that's not realistic, but it's only, again, 5, 10, 15 minutes. You just got to find a place to be left alone for 5, 10, 15 minutes and be willing to quit trying to figure out the world's problems and try and solve world hunger and world peace. Let God do that.
Right. Now, what
Right.
about the neighbors? Like when you're doing these techniques and people like, is she crazy talking to herself?
Well, if you do it the way I'm talking about, I mean, the visualization piece of it, you're laying down in a bed, unless you got a group of people watching you, that's not going to happen. So, you know what I mean? Most of what I do when I do this stuff, I don't do in front of other people.
Right.
They don't need to see that.
Yeah, I have my own place. Like our walls are super thin, and I get like into my visualization where I might say a word like, "Oh, pass me this," or speaking to my, nanny in my mind, or my
Uh-huh.
housekeeper, or
Yeah.
my foreman. I mentally say it, but then sometimes it slips out, and I'm like,
Well,
"Ooh."
that's okay. That's okay. And if you know what, would you rather have what you want, or do you care more about the person next to you that's like
I care nothing about.
rolling their eyes?
I care nothing, but all right. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. I'll hang for about 5 more minutes if there are any other questions or comments.
Kevin,
Uh,
what about
Hold on.
I'm
Hold on a
sorry,
second. We got someone new here.
go
Is it
ahead.
Kiki? Yeah,
Koki.
Koki. Hi,
Yeah, I'm
Koki.
fairly new to this, so I was just kind of, I guess this question's a little similar, but I was
Okay.
just kind of wondering how important is like the conversations we hold with people and like what the people we associate with and like what are some things I can do to kind of
Okay.
progress my subconscious
Yeah.
mind?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to revert back and ask you some questions. Okay. What I think you actually can sort of answer this one for yourself. How important do you think it is? Why are you even asking the question?
Yeah, I believe it is pretty
Right.
important,
You're,
but
you're just wanting, it's cool. You're just wanting validation and some techniques to help you out with it, right? You already know if you hang out with people that are boneheads, you'll be a bonehead eventually, to some extent, right? I'm not, but you know that if they're saying something and it's hurting how you feel, you know that. If you go from a happy state, and I don't know why, but I have this feeling that you're kind of a naturally happy person, but you probably also are heavily affected when people punch with emotion, right? Like
Yeah.
it gets
Yeah.
to you, doesn't
Spot
it?
on.
Right?
Spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So spend more time in your imagination and spend more time being the happy person you are. And whatever it is that you truly want to be in your life, right?
Hmm.
Visualize yourself in a quiet, closed off area, kind of, you know, you can be laying down or sitting or whatever, it doesn't matter. Go into your imagination and the stuff that you like to do to have fun, go do those things in your imagination and just expand them out a little bit further so that they're even closer to what it is that you would really, really like. You have any hobbies or sports that you're into, or you like watching or playing or whatever?
Yeah, I like music. I like writing poetry and
Okay, music and poetry.
yeah.
Do you have any desire in your music in the music field to be known, or do you just like to enjoy it?
Sure, yeah, maybe yeah, I could
Yeah, okay. As a singer, or do you play something or dance? What do you do?
just a little bit of singing kind
Okay,
of.
all right.
Yeah.
Have you ever visualized yourself on one of the singing contests?
What was the question?
Have you ever visualized yourself in one of the singing contests on TV?
Yeah, all the time.
All the
All I
time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
And so have millions of other people because they know those shows exist. So it's made them aware, right?
Uh-huh.
Have you actually seen yourself getting the award for winning it?
Yeah, I actually act it out sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
you know.
But
So,
here's the thing, there's a difference. So as we go through more of this, you'll learn this. But so part of that's daydreaming, like when we were really young, right? And here's what I
yeah.
mean. You know, we played with friends, and in our mind, we pretended we were such and such, right? Whatever
Hmm.
the profession is, you know, cops, robbers, fireman, space astronaut, whatever we like to do, right? So, but here's what we did when we were little kids. We would go there and play that in our mind, and we'd go there and play with friends sometimes too, right? I mean, we
Yeah.
were doing it, but what we did to ourselves is we knew when we were done playing that it was over,
Mhm.
and we turned back to who we were,
Right, right.
right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't have the intention for it to last. We were just enjoying the play of it.
Yeah.
We were just in, hey, not only that, we didn't play the same thing every day, right? When we're with our friends,
Right.
what do you want to do today? Well, today we're doing this. Okay, you know, and then I want to do that. Okay, then finally you agree on something and you go do that. And maybe you did it for a few days in a row, but then somebody's like, I want to do this. If you were truly wanting to be that thing before, you'd be like, no, I'm not doing this. This is what I'm doing because that's what I'm trying to become, right? That's
Okay.
not how we treated it. Well, right now you have fun when you see yourself doing these singing contests and even winning them maybe, but you're not doing it with the intention that it becomes real. Or
Hmm.
maybe you are, and that's why you're here trying to figure out how to go further with it. But like, you know, when Jim Carrey used to go drive around the nice houses before he wrote himself the check for $10 million,
Wow.
when you know, broke, living in a car, wrote himself a check for 10 million, and then
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber is what paid him 10 million. But if you go through the story of a lot of these actors and performers and whatnot, you will find that they didn't just imagine as little kids, they imagined with the intention that it would be real.
Hmm.
And sometimes it took them quite a while before they knew what step to take to get there. But they went ahead and it's just like it's going to be. And they were determined that that's what was going to happen. So I believe that you can go ahead and win one if you want to win a contest. I mean, it's whatever. The reason I brought it up is I like the idea of the winning the contest, not because of the competition of it. If
Hmm.
well, I believe in creating things versus being competitive to get what you want. Because when you
Right.
get in this whole competitive mindset, then somebody has to win, somebody has to lose kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But in this scenario, you've seen the show, you've watched the people, you've seen them get the award, the check, the trophy, the whatever it was that they got for winning. So it's a little bit easier to imagine that. So I wouldn't imagine singing as much as I would imagine being on stage where the audience was huge and you got some kind of award as a result or the applause or whatever.
Okay.
Because that will, then your subconscious mind goes, okay, you know, Koki's good, but he needs to be a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
So I need
Yeah.
to help him get better so that he actually auditions and gets on the show. Right now, if he
Right.
were to audition, your subconscious and God in the universe, they know that what the competition would be, right? So they
Yeah.
know in order for you to make it in the first place, here's what you would need. So they would guide and direct you to receive that into your life. And then, okay, now that you've gone this far, but the thing that got you there wasn't thinking about how to get there. It was, hey, I've just been awarded the $1 million check at the end of American Idol for, or America's Got Talent. I just won the grand prize, right?
Yeah.
That's what you need to actually visualize and feel and see.
Okay. Okay.
I did the same thing, not to the extent, but I did it with a company I did it and I made more money, but it was a direct sales type company. And when I sold certain, when I did well, I made good money for what I sold, but I didn't set the goal for X amount of income. What I did that particular year is I set the goal to I knew kind of what the awards were going to be at the end of the year. So I set my goal to receive 2 of the different awards. But I spent my time, and this was early in the year before it actually happened. I spent my time watching myself go across stage receiving those awards. Weird thing happened. Not only did I receive those awards, but I got like 6 others that I had nothing. I must have been so good at watching myself receive awards that it was almost like they were making up awards to give me. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But as a result, my income went up by 50% that year also.
Wow, that's huge.
Because the natural result of those awards, in order to receive some of those, I would have had to have made more money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So the result of you singing and doing the performing and doing what you want to do, well, if you're at the end result, living your life on stage, cheering, and celebrating with your friends, whoever's going to be there, when you go back down, what you do is you go give that person a hug, right? And they're giving you the hug. You go have the party you would have. You go do whatever it is that you would do to celebrate that you just won that particular
Okay, interesting.
contest, and then let God and the world and the subconscious bring you to that.
Just create that feeling already.
Yes, that was the number one. Create that feeling and live it now as if it currently is happening.
Okay.
And you're experiencing it right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the
Yeah.
answer.
You're welcome. Somebody else that was asking something about the same time. You still there? Maybe not. Any other questions or comments? Going once, going twice. All right. Well, hopefully I will see you folks tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You're welcome.
Thank you.